Hello? Okay, good. It looks like everything's working, so hopefully we should be good. I got the post out from Fred saying that we're live. I'm going to keep the lo-fi going for a little bit longer, but yeah. I may as well switch it over. There you go. So, obviously, Warhammer preview for Warhammer Day, and yeah, I don't really know what to be expecting. I know there's going to be 40k, it's going to be AOS, it's going to be Old World, and I know they definitely show off Kill Team in the little promo image, but yeah, start off with, I'm going to be playing some Boltgun later, hopefully. I was going to be playing it for like the last hour, but I had delivery coming, and I needed to be able to actually enter the door and stuff, so long and short of it, not going to be doing that, but yeah, I might play Boltgun after. It depends on the time, because I can't necessarily stream for too long tonight, but or today. It's 2 o'clock. My sleep schedule's all over the place. If you don't know, I think I've mentioned it before. I work nights, so time is an illusion to me. I'd be asleep normally at this time. But yeah. Love a Warhammer Day. We do have the Twitch open in the other tab, so I'll make sure to switch over that. But yeah, there's been a decent amount to go over. Obviously, I'm still gonna be doing tomorrow's coverage, tomorrow's regularly scheduled programming of what is it now? Of Warhammer Weekly. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of any of this stuff. This is more just for my raw reactions to what's going on. But yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff going on. Quickly click on here. I don't think it's gone live yet. Or maybe it has. Okay, well, we'll check that out in a bit. But yeah, let's just have a look. So obviously there's the full thing of all the reveals that we're going to be getting. Otherwise, there's been a lot of things that I don't typically cover. The 40 years painting stuff, which is always cool. I do look at these in my own time usually, but yeah, they're not something that I really think is worth covering on, what's my jog? On Warhammer Weekly. It just, to me, it's never really made much sense, but yeah, that's a really clean towel. That battlesuit is... I can only hope my battlesuits look like it when I paint them. Wow, that's really nice. Yeah, a lot of nice models from the Warhammer. I assume these are by the actual in-house teams. I don't know for sure. I'm sure if I've read the yeah, I'm sure if I read through in detail the article, but that's not what this is for. I'm here to waste a bit of time while I wait for the actual event of the stream to come on. Which should be about 10 minutes away, so looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. This is actually something I'm very interested in. I haven't actually read into it, but just this looks interesting to me with the shirt design. Looks pretty cool and everything, so yeah. I don't know if this is is this available? Like, can you order this? Yeah, you can get it on the merchandise store. I'm probably going to at least look into this. This looks very nice, but yeah, in general, like, there's not been too much that's really caught my eye with Warhammer Day. Obviously, we have the, I don't know whether, no, the article's not at the top here. We obviously have the new Votan model that's come out today, and a reprint of Rogue Trader, which is kind of cool, but, yeah, in general, there's not been too much to get me excited about this. Old World's looking good, but it's just not my side of Warhammer. The fantasy side's never been something I've been all too interested in, so it's 40k, 30k. The closest I get to AOS really comes down to, I do technically have a Norik army. But yeah, generally, like, you know, I have an Orc army. I have a little bit of Gloomspite Gates and a little bit of Stormcast Eternals. I don't really play it. I play Underworlds occasionally, not really that often, but yeah, that's when it comes to fantasy, that's really all I seriously care for. So yeah, I'm hoping we're gonna get some good reveals just in general. There's not too much for my armies. There's not too much that I'm really looking for. Oryx have kind of got a refresh recently. Gloomspite Gates have got a lot of new models recently, so I'm not expecting much from them. As I don't really care too much about Stormcast. I just have a few. Obviously Space Marines just got their new stuff. Realistically, like, unless they're going to reveal like Kroot, my Tau is good. My Gene Stealers is definitely good. I'm getting towards being finished with those, which is very nice. I might have to do a bit of a video on that at some point, but I don't know. Generally, I'm not somebody who enjoys doing that kind of content for Warhammer. I may change. That may change in the future. Don't get me wrong, but at least for the time being, I'm very much of the mind of not for me necessarily, but who knows really. It's very much a case of that will probably change, but just for now, I don't know. I haven't really been doing all too much in terms of Warhammer as of late. I've been working on just like kind of getting the office into a state of like usability, which is still ways off. I look to my left, I'm just seeing the number of like firstborn Marines I just have on the side, and just my Tyranids. I've built a lot of my Tyranids now. But they are all just on the side. None of them have been put away. Some of them I can't actually fit in the container I have for Tyranids, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that things will change. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to start painting again somewhat soon. I've got a lot of Space Marines that need painting, and realistically, batch painting, because it's Death Watch, so batch painting them is going to be really easy. But yeah, I don't know. Also, long-time viewers, well, long time, yeah, very long time, because it's been a long time since I last streamed, but, yeah, I don't have, the VTuber thing set up. I literally forgot about the fact that I didn't have it installed. I use Animaze, is the software I use. I didn't have that installed, I didn't have the camera set up, and just in general, I just was not prepared, for that, because I just kind of forgot that was a thing that I had to do. So yeah, for this stream, not gonna be the case. Hopefully, future streams. You know, I don't have the software downloaded. I have it downloading. But it won't be ready for this stream because I need to reset it up. But yeah, hopefully for next stream or whatever, it's gonna be fine. Gonna be able to go back. I am gonna just quickly drop out of this, switch over, get that back on. Let's just get rid of all this. I don't need the main chat isn't needed there, but yeah, I'm gonna leave that mute, well, not muted. I'm gonna leave that low volume for now, and I'm gonna turn it up to 1080 so that's as good quality for you guys as it can be. But yeah, I'm probably gonna leave it in this view just so you're aware. I'm not going to be full screening it just because I like to be able to see other things, though I am probably going to have a mess around with the taskbar in a minute. But yeah, I don't know. Generally, like, streaming isn't something that I think about doing a lot. But I think whenever they first announced they were actually doing a Warhammer preview today, I was basically just like, you know what? I have time that day. So literally the 9th. What's the date today? 14th. So 5 days ago. So on Tuesday or whatever. I was very much just like, yeah, I could go for that. I could do a stream, do a little, 1-2 hour stream. It was gonna be longer because, as I say, I was going to do some bolt gun live, which I thought would be fun, but I think I've still actually got these streams set to be bolt gun as the game, but it doesn't really matter. Compared to Twitch, like, because it's YouTube, YouTube doesn't really have the same, like, search by game sort of thing. So, I don't think it really matters. And I say, we might play it later, I don't know. I'm glad that this is finally out. The new Underworlds box. I am actually... I said earlier, like, the main thing that I care about when it comes to AOS is Underworlds. And I'm sure this is going to be absolutely excellent. Definitely looking forward to this one. But yeah, otherwise, like, I haven't bought any, like, anything, actually, Warhammer related in a few weeks, which, you know, has been seen in the Warhammer Weekly. Like, I only show the things that I get, and I haven't been getting anything. I just haven't had much want or need to be doing Warhammer as of late. I don't know. I enjoy Warhammer still. Like, it's not me burnt out or anything. I just don't really feel the need. I've been enjoying playing more Call of Duty. Fortnite has been pretty good recently. Ignoring the UI changes, I'll be making a video on that at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying playing a lot of video games rather than tabletop. Instead of building miniatures and painting miniatures, I've actually been getting back into Lego again. Really working on some Clone Army stuff. This is unrelated, but I do technically have a toy-related channel. I have not uploaded there in over a year at this point, but that may come back. I don't know. I'm gonna try and implement it a little bit more into RabbitWithAxe as well. It's going to be a little bit more. I want to kind of make the different channels a bit more related again, because most of them have been very separate for a very long time. I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, there's a lot of things, especially, you know, I play a lot of, like, the Lego games, Hot Wheels games, stuff like that on the channel. Like, they're the things that, you know, beyond anything else, like, they're what I kind of buy in general when it comes to, like, toys and stuff. It's Lego, Hot Wheels, like, mystery boxes I quite like, stuff like that. So, I don't know, potentially, I don't know if it'd work, but putting that on RabbitWithAxe, potentially. Because RabbitWithAxe doesn't have to be a gaming channel. I know it has been since inception, since it was the Queenie Luna back in the day. But, I don't know, I might test the waters, try like, an odd video here or there. There are a few things, relating to, like, 2K Drive and stuff that have kind of been screaming at me that I probably should cover on here, but I think it's about time we actually switch back over to yeah, last minute until this actually starts. So yeah, we're gonna turn the volume. Oh, I'll put it to 50 for now. If it's a little bit too quiet, let me know. I'll check the audio mix and everything, but yeah, I think I should also probably start turning down the okay, well, that'll do. That'll do, I guess. Yeah, just mute the lo-fi for now. And all being well in a moment, we'll have the actual content of the stream, because obviously right now they're just doing the little questionnaire thing. Not questionnaire, the little trivia quiz thing that they like to do. It's been a while, so I don't typically get a chance to capture them, because they tend to do them on, like, Wednesdays, and I'm at work. I'm either asleep or at work when they do them. But yeah, this one's good. I'm very happy with this one. So yeah, all being well, this is gonna be a fun one to be here for. Who really knows? Let's be honest. But you know, we get to enjoy a bit of Warhammer together. It's so rare, especially as of late, that I've been able to actually, you know, do kind of live coverage of stuff like this. So I don't know. To me, this is cool. I'm sure to others this will be a bit whatever, but I don't know. I like it. I've enjoyed it. It's the longest time just waiting for streams to start. This was the case when literally the last time I streamed was can't remember which one it was, but it was a different It was like a gaming reveal thing. I don't know. I don't remember which one it was. Was it Game Awards? It might have been the Game Awards. It was the one for Fortnite Wilds anyway. So like, that was another one where I was just kind of like, I think I stopped playing the game like 10 minutes before it started, and I just ran out of stuff to talk about because it just didn't start for 8. It felt like forever, but yeah, I don't know. They've changed the starting soon screen again, so. Just looking at the... Oh! Hello? Why is it... The actual tab's muted, isn't it?
Joined by Eddie, and today we've got some super exciting news for you today. But first, before we get into that, Eddie, what is Warhammer Day?
Well, pleasure to be here, Lewis. So
right.
Warhammer Day
I think
is
the audio
a
looks
celebration
about
we have
right there.
every year just to celebrate all of our favourite things about Warhammer, and we usually find something about that's going on in Warhammer to kind of be the theme of it. And this year we're celebrating 40 years of Warhammer. It's 40 years in this year since the very first
incredible thing. Like
40
years
came out into the world.
Of
We've been playing with dice and miniatures
Warhammer.
and painting up our armies for 40 years. The mix. So a great theme for a celebration.
The mix, should I say.
And this year for Warhammer Day, we are also having a live preview, which means we get to show you guys at home some of the cool, exciting releases we've got coming up over the next few weeks and months.
Brilliant. So happy Warhammer Day to you, Eddie.
A very happy Warhammer Day.
Very happy Warhammer Day to all.
Warhammer Day themed plans going on today? Are you baking a Warhammer Day themed cake?
I wasn't going to, but now that you've mentioned it, that sounds pretty good actually. I was planning on sitting here for about an hour or so with you
amazing preview,
and talking about some cool new stuff that was coming out. That was the main gist of my day.
Yeah, of course. And
yourself, are you celebrating anyway?
I am celebrating. Yes, I've got a combat patrol with my name on that needs painting. I've built it.
Nice.
Need to get painted now, so maybe some of that today.
That's cool. What about you guys at home as well? Do let us know if you're doing any Warhammer Day themed things. Are you playing some games today and painting some miniatures, going down to your local
not at all, not in the slightest.
Independent store to play some games of Warhammer? Do let us know.
Yeah, and where you're joining us from as well. Like people from all over the world watch these previews, so where you're joining us from in the world as well. Let's check it out, see where some people are coming from.
One of my favourite things about these previews is whenever we ask people where they're checking in from, we get hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people letting us know, just flying past with the places.
So Japan, Australia, New Zealand...
all over the world right now.
Texas, Germany,
exotic Nottingham.
I don't know what to because they're not showing anything right now, so I'm just like I don't know what to say.
Thank you ever so much for all of you who are joining in wherever you are in the world. It's a pleasure to have you. A special thank you for those of you who are staying up very late or waking up very early. Yes. I think I saw some Californias fly by. I think it is very early in the morning for that half of the United States at the moment.
I mean,
Eddie, what have we got in
that's the weirdest thing. It's like 2 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, whatever, British Summer Time, whatever we're in. Is like pretty early for one of these. Like that's kind of the weird thing.
As well as some Kill Team. And we've got some Warhammer Age of Sigmar, so our kind of big 2 settings. We've got some cool, juicy stuff on the way, and we can talk to you about that. And then I think one thing that we're very excited to show today is a few more things for the old world.
Yes.
So lots of people...
And I think that's what most people are interested in right now. But for me, I just don't care. Like, when it comes to Old World and AOS, I'm just not really that interested.
40 years ago today, so swords and sorcery and magic and dragons and all that good stuff and big units smashing into each other, which is where I started playing Warhammer as well. That was my first game. Right. Not 40 years ago, I wasn't born yet. But,
it's also not just...
That is always the scary thing. It's like, most of us were not born when Warhammer was started, you know?
Safe. And we're joined in the studio by our wonderful producer, Raph, who's pushing the buttons, making it all happen.
He's really important, because otherwise we're just sitting here in the dark.
Yeah, we don't get to see any of the cool stuff that we're going to be showing today. So without further ado...
Yeah, should we get stuck in?
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Ooh, some Necrons. And some Adeptus Mechanicus. Stormcloud's Gather. Have we got a new Stormlord or whatever? I can't tell if that's Imatech or not. I legitimately can't. Is that... Okay, that is supposed to be Imatech the Stormlord. Okay. Codex Necrons. Love to see it. Okay. Necrons, cool.
So the season
it doesn't look very distinctive for Imatech.
Imatech the
Oh,
Storm
actually,
Lord. So
Okay,
some of
in
you
the
might remember
clear
the classic
images, yeah, that's
long-serving
great.
resin miniature. It's now available in plastic.
That
so
is
a great
nice.
Plastic refresh of this. Imatex's had beef with the Black Templars.
Yeah, he's got beef with a lot of people. So as you say, this is
That's nice.
a new plastic.
I like
version of a
the
classic,
reference
character
there.
Reborn. He has fought against most of the races of the galaxy. He's one of the very first Necron overlords, one of the very first Pharaons to kind of wake up from
It's
the,
true
the
as well,
long
like-
slumber of the Necrons, the eons asleep, where they ready to retake the
Like
galaxy.
he is like
And
the
because he was
OG
kind of
in a
first
lot of
awake,
ways.
he decided to kind of claim quite a lot of the Necron Empire for himself. So he was like, right, I'm up first. I'm in charge here. So some of the early battles the Imperium had against the Necrons, things like Sanctuary 101, it's kind of the very first contact battles they had against them. This guy was the mastermind behind some of those battles. Since then, he specifically had fights against the Black Templars, as you say. He's squared off against Helbrecht a couple of times, and those fights have
Nice.
gone both ways. But
Also, sorry if you can hear the
particular enmity
clicking. It's
between
because
those
I'm
two.
messing
But
around
his
with
main rival really
some
is
stuff
the
some
Silent
stuff in
King
the
himself, who's
in the
kind of
background.
self-proclaimed ruler of the Necrons. So Imatech woke up first. He thought maybe he'd be able to kind of secure his grip on the Necron Empire, and then the Silent King has returned and said, oh, actually, this is my birthright. I'm in charge.
And the thing is,
so
like,
Imatech's maybe
the
not too
Stormlord
pleased
is
about that, so
is
there's definitely,
like
a
cool and
politicking
everything,
going
but
on
like the
within
Silent King is
Necron,
just
of course.
is
Those
the
two not
the
friends,
guy, you know?
it's fair to say.
And what are some of these weapon loadouts here that he's got?
So Imatech is a solid all-round character. So he's pretty good in close combat. He's got his kind of hefty.
I do
war
wonder
side there.
what stuff
He's also
that
got
is.
a gauntlet of fire, basically. So he's got a kind of inbuilt heavy flamer in his hand.
Shooting flames.
Oh, really?
And he's also a very good strategist as well. So he gives you a few extra kind of command points for including him. So yeah, he's
That's
a
neat. That's
very
cool.
good all-round leader for your army. So if you're looking for someone maybe not quite the level of the Silent King, but you want like a really solid all-round commander who can go toe-to-toe with things like Space Marine captains and Chaos Lords and stuff like that, he's a solid pitch for leader of the army.
Nice.
And a new codex as well for the new edition.
I think that's the big
absolutely.
thing, is
So
that the
we
fact
knew
is the new.
Necrons were on their
Oh
way.
no,
We confirmed that they are the next codex on
that
the
was
way
not
from
meant to come
Warhammer
up on that screen.
40,000, which is very cool. So
Oh, fine.
if you've got the Tyranid Codex or the Space Marine Codex, which is kind of landing in people's hands at the moment, you get a sense of the kind of the sort of thing this is going to bring. So lots of new rules for your Necrons. There's loads of Crusade.
I'm trying
content
to
in
tell
there
if
as well,
any of
so if
the
you're
like
particularly
background
enjoying the
ones are
narrative,
new.
Of Warhammer 40,000, you can lean into that. But for everybody, you've got lots of different detachments to play with, and much like we've seen with the Tyranids and with the Space Marines, those very much lean into a certain type of play. So you can have your for like massive phalanxes of troops, which is the same kind of way that you'd play using your current index. But you've also got things like Necron armies that lean heavily into using lots of Canoptech stuff, or that use lots of teleporting around the battlefield, or use lots
It's like
of things like
that's what the
flame
popularity
blade ones
of it
and
all. It's just like
destroyers and stuff like
it's
that. So
due
if
to
there's
the
a
fact
particular
that
type of Necron army that you like to play, there's probably a way to lean into
there's
that.
so many options for
and so-
Necrons.
Stratagems here
Yeah,
as
so
well,
this is one of the legions, which is the Hypercrypt Legion. So Hypercrypt Legion basically specialize in movement play, moving around the battlefield using Eldritch technology to teleport units and reposition them and have extra move and things like that. And this is one of their stratagems, which is basically you can have a Necron unit out in the middle of the battlefield, and once it's been
That's kinda
targeted
neat, actually.
in either combat or with shooting, it can basically teleport itself away. So you can use this.
okay.
There's some really like, if you're a good strategist, there's lots of very cunning ways you can use this. You can plonk them on an objective or push them very far forward, and then once your enemy's committed to firing at them with multiple units, you can kind of pull them out of position, and all of a sudden, all of the enemy units are kind of in the wrong place, basically. So
cool.
this is a Necron, a type of way of playing Necrons that lends itself very much to people who like to kind of shenanigans around the battlefield with lots of different weird movement mechanics, which is good fun.
Nice.
This is the thing. It's like
This
I
might be
think
my favourite.
Gene Stealers isn't getting their codex for a little while, I don't think. So like,
which is basically
I'm gonna miss out
you
on a
can-
lot of this kind of
Necrons
stuff
have been
for a
asleep
while.
for millions of years. and over
Not
time,
that I'm
the
saying
circuitry
that like
inside
Gene
them
Stealers are
started to
all
kind of
like
fray.
bad right now,
They
but
didn't have
like
much of their souls left,
I don't know.
basically, when they had the biotransference into Necrons. So lots of them have become basically a bit insane over the millions
oh,
of years.
just a bit.
That manifests in various different ways. So some of them become destroyers, which are like the guys you can see on the screen there, where they replace bits of their arms and legs and things with technology to make them better at killing. Some of them that manifest through things like the Flayer curse, which is where they think that they are living creatures and try and like take the skin of other
Flayers are
living creatures and
terrifying as like a
and you
concept.
can
Like
represent a force that's basically lost itself to madness. And one of the things you can do is give them enhancements and upgrades, and this is one of the enhancements you can give to your destroyer lords, basically, to just make them even scarier than they already are.
Super scary enhancement there for the Necrons.
But yeah, worth saying as well, the Stormlord is one of the new models that's on its way for the Necrons. It's not going to be the only one, but is the one we're showing today. So if you like your Necrons, they did pretty well out of the last edition of Warhammer 40,000. They got a lot of new stuff, but they haven't quite finished yet. So there's a few more things on the way.
that is the interesting thing. Is that like what are they going to have for these other factions after all the stuff they have for not Necrons, Tyranids and Space Marines? Like what are they going to have for Necrons? Okay, so this will be Adeptus Mechanicus, won't it? Who's this gonna be? Wait, what? What on earth is this thing? What the? I'm not very familiar with, well, with basically anything Adeptus Mechanicus, but like, what on earth is that thing? Why is he so tall? Like, what? What?
Sidonian Scatros there, the sneaky stilt sniper. So there's a couple of weapon
Why is he
options
so...
here, Eddie. What are these?
What is he?
Yeah, so this is a brand new unit for the Adeptus Mechanicus. We haven't seen this guy before.
Yeah, no
he is
kidding.
A kind of Adeptus Mechanicus sniper, effectively.
Okay.
So he.
Yeah, but the point of a
fits in
sniper
with
is supposed to be
a lot
like
of
you're
the
like
effects
hidden.
we've
Why?
seen
Why
of,
is he so
lots of the other
tall?
things in the Adeptus Mechanicus army, which is you're on these irradiated dunes.
ridiculous.
You probably don't want to go too close to the ground because it's almost certainly radioactive.
Yeah.
He also wants to get himself a nice view of the battlefield.
It's so cool. It's
This
super
guy,
funky.
it's a really wild and wacky.
It's
yeah,
so
very,
ridiculous.
very,
I don't know
it's
if I
very
like it
40K,
or
right?
not.
It's
Like
very
it's
unusual. You can sort of
so
imagine it kind of on-game
beyond. You know what I mean?
battlefield.
Yeah.
But the way this guy works in lore is that he'll kind of find his spot and then
That's
he'll
so
perch
weird.
completely motionless, right, and kind of ready to kind of pick out key targets and take them out. And there's a couple of options in terms of how you want to kit this guy out. So you can either give him an anti-character weapon, so
you can either just like become an assassin or
kit him out with
what's the
a
other one?
Radium Giselle, which will be familiar to lots of Adeptus Mechanicus players. You can also kit him out with a Transuranic Arquebus, which is
Okay.
anti-vehicle.
None of this
which
means
is really useful
anything
kind
to
of
me.
pipping
These
off
all
the
look the
last couple of
same.
wounds
It
of
like
enemy vehicles,
to
that
my
sort of thing.
untrained eye, like
He's in game terms, he's actually a really useful little character because he's got the lone operative's ability. So similar to
Okay, that's
something like
kinda
a
neat.
assassin. But for less points than one of those, you can have a few of these guys in your army, kind of
wait, what?
sniping around the back of the battlefield, hitting characters. But also,
Oh,
quite
so these are
useful to
cheap
hop into
snipers as
objectives
well. These
in
are
your
like
deployment
so
zone,
the
that are very
oh.
difficult for him to kind of push.
I
him
don't know
off
if I
unless
like
you can get
that.
him right up.
Yeah, a bit
That's
hard
kind of
to
worrying in
But
a
yeah,
way.
I think a really fun, very characterful, very different sort of character. And again, the Adeptus Mechanicus, one of those armies that's actually done quite well out of the last few years of Warhammer 40,000 releases. So
They're gonna keep
they've
saying
got
that, aren't they?
fairly
Because like
accessible
every
plastic,
army that's gonna get
miniature
any
races, and this
support
guy
in the
adds
next
a
like
little something
few
extra,
months
to
it has been
use
doing
anti-character
exceptionally well.
ability, which is something they didn't really have in droves previously.
Nice.
Okay, interesting,
It's a
interesting.
very cool little model.
Yeah, and a new codex as well.
Absolutely comes alongside the new Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. So this
Oh, we
comes
love to
along
see
with the
Tau
Necron book.
clearly losing.
Again,
Those Tau are
very
dead.
similar
Those
format to
like
the way that the Space
even
Marines
against Adeptus Mechanicus,
Tyranids,
those Tau
Codexes
are
work.
dead.
What you've got in here is loads of Crusade rules, which, if you're the Adeptus Mechanicus, usually revolve around acquiring.
I do like the
ancient tech
aesthetic of
and kind
Adeptus
of bringing it
Mechanicus. I
into,
just
get
for me
hold of
they're
it
just
so nobody
not
else
a
can. They
faction
kind
I
of
care
store all the
about.
knowledge they possibly can. But for everybody who plays, regardless of which way you play, there are brand new detachments, and much like we've seen with the other codexes,
I like the
you
big
lean
Among Us
into a
robots.
specific
I
way
don't know what they're
of
actually called,
playing
but they're
your,
always cool.
Adeptus Mechanicus army.
Oh, some
So one of them is called
chaos.
the Hunter cohort. So this is, if you like, your Skitari troops, which are your cyborg.
They're the proper
warriors, basically.
robots. So
Part
that's,
human, but with their legs.
I
And
feel like
arms
they're pretty
replaced with
popular at this
biological-
point.
with,
Like I think
mechanical
most people like
equipment.
them
And
in
you can
general.
play them as a Hunter cohort, which is like a stealth.
The fact that
spec ops.
so
sort
like
of
so far,
feeling,
like I know the
force,
current
where they're using
army
lots
rule,
of
whatever detachment
interference
rule,
jamming
is just
to
for
make them
Skitari.
at range.
So is this just is this just
a
telling
good
us
way
that
to
like the
keep your,
codex is gonna be nothing but
infantry alive,
Skitari
range, and kind of
detachment
compete with the other kind
rules?
of big hitting infantry of
That's hilarious if so.
but there's loads of other ways to play them as well. So you've got things like you can lean very heavily into the kind of tech priest aspect and have lots of
Oh, that's good. Okay, at least they're confirming that.
things that are kind of part of the cult mechanicus. You can lean very heavily into having a cybernetica cohort, which means all your Castellan robots and things like that, all your robotic units also benefit from lots of the army special rules. So
That's good.
in that way that we've seen with lots of the
Like
other detachments,
at least they're giving
think
like
about your
they are
army
actually saying there's going to be
life.
variety, even if they're not
probably a
showing
way
it.
to lean into that and kind
Okay.
of extrapolate that into a theme for your force, which is good fun because the Adeptus Mechanicus have got lots of very fun, kind of weird, unique, different unit types, and
Yeah.
you can have some wildly
Not
different
half.
looking armies, right? So if you go all infantry, you get a very different looking force than if you go lots of robots or lots of tanks and stuff like that.
I love that miniature.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's a really fun model. It's a really
It's
fun model.
it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
I think,
It's
I
stupid.
think it's probably fair to say this one is a little bit Marmite for some
Yeah,
people. What we've seen it. So
It
some people have
looks
definitely seen it and gone,
awful.
This is really
Like-
weird.
Yeah.
And then that kind of either.
Why
turns
has he
into,
got
"I
like
love
the
it,"
little
or,
hanging
"I like
this
exhaust
one."
as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, yeah.
What
It's
is
just,
this guy?
if you like the kind of absolutely wacky Blanchest Chew style for the Adeptus
That is
Mechanicus, you can
ridiculous.
see this
I
guy
don't like.
walking
I
out
don't.
the pages
Not
of
for me.
like a
Not for
90s
me at all.
40K black and white art style
It's
sort of thing.
funky.
Yeah,
It's
it's
one
really
guy, yeah.
wild. It's really
It's
wild.
so weird.
Yeah, that's great.
And you can have a few of them in your army as well. So if you wanted to have 2 or 3, you can be very kind of
I wonder how
make a
posable
very
it's going to
scary
be.
battlefield for enemy characters to be wandering around in.
Yeah.
I wonder how posable they're going to be
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like
Good stuff.
if you can have like
We're-
3 of
we're not
them.
even close to
We're
done.
not
Shall
even
we?
close
Shall
to
we crack on?
finished. Yeah, let's do it.
I
yeah.
don't know. Ooh. Wait. Oh, Age of Sigma. I was like, is that demons? It still could be, I guess. But okay, we've got a dragon with skeleton stuff. Oh. Okay. Okay, he looks cool. Dragonif. Okay. Oh, it's a Stormcast model? Oh, I like that thing. I'm assuming it's a Stormcast based off the other one. This is their chaplain equivalent, isn't it? Unleash a living legend.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's Cryptborn there, the first
Are we
look
gonna get a
at
proper look at
Sigmar.
this?
That is an awesome miniature.
Okay, this guy looks cool. Like
legit.
legitimately, this guy
I mean,
is
Dragons have been part
awesome.
of Warhammer for pretty much since its inception, really.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an absolutely phenomenal.
This guy's
centerpiece
great.
for the Stormcast. It's a really really cool kit. There's obviously you're spoiled for choice with Stormcast in terms of things.
Yeah,
that have
Stormcast have a
lots
Stormcast
of,
are the Space Marines of
Lord
Age of Sigmar, to be
Celestus and
fair.
Star Drakes and Celestic Primes and all sorts of stuff. But there's something about this which I think is.
I
one of the
love
best Stormcast.
everything
Actually,
about
one of
this
the best
model.
Warhammer miniatures, I think
The
we've got.
posing, the fact he's a
Absolutely awesome.
skeleton guy riding a
In terms of
dragon.
the-
Like you don't
the
even have to
very first
do this up
box
as
set, right?
Yeah, so I mean, let's
You
talk
could do
about
this up as
the
pretty much
character in the lore a bit
any
before we kind of dive into
faction.
the,
You could
um,
figure out a
into
way
the-
to fit it into pretty much
the miniature,
anything.
but, the character in the lore, Ionis
he's
Cryptborn,
beautiful.
you guys might be familiar with as the Lord Relictor, who was
The
battled
Lord
alongside
Relictor.
Vandist Hammerhand in the very first. Warhammer
Sorry,
Age of
who?
Sigmar box
Hammerhand?
set, when the
I don't know.
Stormcast
I
first
don't know
arrived
Age of
in the
Sigmar
Realm
like
of Fire
at
to
all.
kind of
So.
battle for the Brimstone Peninsula. What he's been up to in the time since, basically, is he's been searching for a cure for the reforging of the Stormcast. The more they get kind of battered
Okay.
and reforged, the more they kind of lose a little bit of their self, of their identity, of their humanity as they get reforged. And he's been kind of wandering through the realms looking for a cure. And he hasn't found
That's
it.
actually really interesting. So he's
And as he was kind of
he is
searching
like a
for it,
chaplain
he has
equivalent, but he's
found,
not
a
like.
companion
That's
in the
not
shape
actually
of,
what his role is. Like that is what he
You
is.
did some reading on him. Do you want to
But
talk
it's
a bit
not
about what this dragon is?
what he
Oh, yeah,
does.
so,
That's interesting.
Ionis found this dragon, met up with him. So he's sort of once kept safe by the Seraphon, but is now sort of prematurely aged after spending a couple of years too close to the Nadir, basically. So the Drake is sort of looking for the location of his race's underworld, lost after their era-spanning slumber. So, but also wants to learn how
Interesting.
to free it from Nagash's grip. So the two have sort of want to find a way to protect the souls of their friends together. So they've sort of banded
That's a
together.
really interesting concept. Like
This guy's been
they're
living in
working
the realm of
together
death,
for a
basically.
mutual
So
goal, even though they are
he's one of the
different
newer
factions.
Born dragons, because we know that the Drake race was kind of almost wiped out, basically, and they were kind of protected by the Seraphon. Because he's been going through the realm of death, he has aged kind of in that time, basically.
That's so
you've
interesting.
Got these two very kind of macabre versions of their factions heroes. You've got the Stormcast, who's probably the most gothic-looking Stormcast we've seen to date, right? So
Yeah,
we've seen
I'm
a few
loving that
style
Stormcast.
characters before with a couple of skulls, but nobody who's quite gone all in on
This is
gothic.
real macabre.
He's gone all in for
There's
skulls, right?
everywhere.
He's
Very,
great.
very
I am. I'm gonna
and
get
the
this
dragon
model.
is a much more kind of wizened, ancient-looking dragon. Than
Much more
things
like wrinkled,
some of the
like
Storm Drakes or the Star Drakes and things we've seen before.
that's
But
an
I think a
awesome
really
dragon.
awesome
Like that
eccentric
is.
kit and a really
I
cool
love it.
evolution of a character that we've seen.
I love how I was saying about how I
it's
don't
kind of
care about
super
AOS
cool.
and I
I
don't
think
care about
this is phenomenal.
Stormcast. And I'm just,
And there's just a bit of a
Ooh.
reminder, guys. For
You
those
know
of
what?
who
That
maybe
doesn't even
weren't
look
with
that
us
bad.
At the start of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, this was Ionis Cryptborn in his initial incarnation in that first.
that doesn't
Age of
even
Sigmar.
look that
So
bad.
he's got
To
a
be
few
fair.
skulls.
Yeah,
He's got a couple of skulls, and he is carrying around a skeleton, I guess.
Yeah.
That's still cool.
His journey has kind of taken him from glorious golden.
I wonder if we're
hero,
gonna get like
all the way to walking avatar,
like a
of,
reprint maybe of him.
death, basically. And in kind of lore, what happens is he'll
I
show
like
up
how
on,
his
battlefield, and then any of those Stormcasts,
his gauntlets as well have skeleton hands.
have been reforged a few too many times. He takes away, and nobody's quite sure what happens to them, basically. So he has a fairly grim task to accomplish now after the failure of his ability to.
That is really
solve
interesting.
the curse. The first time you're able to get this guy, he comes in Cryptborn Stormwing, which is basically a box set with him and a couple of Drakes. And one of the things you can do with Ionis Cryptborn is you can use him you can put him in a standard Stormcast army, and absolutely you can use him in any Stormcast army you like. But you can also use him as a specific army of renown, which is all Drake themed, basically all dragon themed.
Oh, that'd be
So you
cool.
can have this guy in loads
I
of
may
Storm
get
Drakes,
this
just to
Cryptborn
kind of-
Stormwing box
not wanna do
because I like the
mean,
Drakes in
it's a dragon
general,
army,
and
right?
this
It's
guy
a
looks
dragon
really
army.
cool.
It looks great, and it fights pretty hard as well. So
Very
what's
nice.
not to love?
I like myself some dragons. I do like.
That's an
My
awesome.
partner likes dragons way more than I do, but
I
dragons are
think
cool.
the
Dragons are neat.
next model, though, that model's amazing, but I think
the
the next
next
one
one.
I actually prefer.
We've got
even to
more?
that one,
It is
so
great.
Let's take a look.
Oh. What the hell are you? Oh, is it a crab? Is it for the elves, the waterkin? Oh no, it's what on earth? So it's for the tree people. I don't remember what the faction's called. Sylvaneth? Is that what they're called? That is a weird looking bug.
That is a good one.
That's a good-
Belthanos.
it's good.
That
Belthanos,
is
the first
interesting.
Thorn of Kurnoth. So a brand new hero for
First Thorn
the
of
Order for
Kurnoth.
Sylvaneth. So what do we know about Belthanos, Eddie?
So Belthanos is a really interesting character, but both in terms of the model,
This
obviously
is-
spectacular.
Honestly, this might be the
but
best.
the lore. Of
This
this
might be
guy
the
is
best
really
Sylvaneth
interesting
we've
because he
got.
is the first Thorn of Kurnoth. Kurnoth is the elven god of the hunt. Anybody who's
Interesting.
familiar with the old lore of Warhammer Fantasy Battle will know that Kurnoth was kind of had his avatar in Orion and was kind of generally worshipped by the elves of the old world. In Warhammer Age of Sigmar, he is believed to be lost or slain. But this guy
Interesting.
Belthanos is effectively keeping the dream alive, basically. So he has the horn of Kurnoth, and he kind of leads effectively the wild hunt through the realm of life. And he is leading at the head of this Kurnothi force, effectively. So much like we saw with with Ionis, you
As
can
always. Sorry that you
use
can hear
this
the
guy
typing.
either in a standard Sylvaneth army, or you can say, actually, I'm going to lean all the way into the concept of this guy's army of renown, and you can have a whole force of Kurnoth hunters and Kurnoth spite riders and revenants, and have
Ooh.
a very fast, very different.
You know, I
feeling
might have to have
Sylvaneth
have
force.
another look at the
The
Sylvaneth
character
units because
himself in
some of
game
these are
sense
really
is
cool.
Very good. So he is effectively the avatar of Kurnoth in the mortal realms. So he hits
That's
very
fascinating.
hard, he's very fast. You don't quite get a sense of the size of that model there, but the rider isn't human sized. He's slightly bigger than a Kurnoth hunter. So that
Oh.
that he's on is kind of
So he's at whoa, wait,
creature.
that
He's
like
he's a pretty big
gigantic.
monster.
Like that's
So
that's
This guy can
massive.
go toe to toe with some of the biggest kind of dragons and monsters and great heroes of the mortal realms that come out on top. But particularly at the head of a wild hunt sort of thing, he can basically smash through almost any kind of defensive line. He's a very, very kind of strong character in game. So really interesting addition to the
Yeah,
Sylvaneth.
I may have
brings
to have
in
another
an
look
element
at
that a lot of fans have been very keen
at
to
all the
see,
stuff
like
in
more of that
Sylvaneth
Kurnoth
because
sort of feel.
these
A
look pretty
very
cool.
new
These do
monster,
look pretty cool.
and a very different way of playing the army as well. So I think it's a really exciting addition to the Sylvaneth range.
Yeah, really good centerpiece as well, and like that looks like it's going to be so much fun to paint.
I'm trying to
It's
think of
beautiful.
like
It's
how I
really,
could
really
put,
beautiful.
potentially
So,
paint that
I
up.
mean,
Like,
it looks like I think.
because I
Firefly
think
is
I'd
the
almost
closest.
want to
Obviously,
paint
it's a
it
fantasy creature,
kind of
so
like
it's not anything, but,
anti-nature.
it looks
Like make it all like
lots of elements that are very
metallic and
similar to
like
kind of real-world
just
insects. You
unnatural
can
in
paint that
general. Just
whatever color you wanted, but I think that kind of red and yellow is very striking.
whoa,
And
I
that
don't
Cooley
know.
and Great Spite that he
Make it like really techno. Make like the
It's
the
really good.
blues.
Yeah, it's
Make them
really good
like
in game. So
Necron
it's very
green.
Fast, it's very killy.
A lot of
so the guy
metallics.
in the back has got.
I think that'd be cool.
Is effectively a Lord level Kurnoth hunter, and they're already quite good in a fight. So you
Yeah.
can imagine his stats are going to be scary.
Right.
He's got
I like
himself
this.
a ward save, he's got
This is
14
good. This is
wounds,
bad.
wounds
I'm
12,
already
so
like
it's a big
everything
threat.
they've shown so far, other
Thorny's
than that
got allows you nearby to
stupid
run and shoot,
Skitari.
So what he does really
I'm
with
like,
Sylvaneth
this is
armies
cool.
give you a
This
very
is-
different way of approaching the game, because at the moment your Sylvaneth armies are
I'm
quite
not gonna start a
relatively
Sylvaneth
defensive,
army.
right?
I'm
So
not
you've
gonna
got
do
lots
it.
of things
I
that
might
zip
buy
around
you.
and
I
make
might buy a
difference.
model.
It's a kind of standoffish sort of
I
thing.
might
This
buy a
throws
model.
that out the
I'm
window, like,
definitely
just gonna
buying
charge
that
you.
that
I've got a
dragon though
big
for
load of
for
slights, and we're ready for a
Stormcast.
charge. We're very fast. We can get
Ah.
right up into your face very quickly.
This guy's
leading
cool.
that kind of wild hunt
This
across
guy's
the realm.
very,
So it's a
very
really
cool.
fun way of approaching that army. And the Sylvaneth army looks great already, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a brilliant
beautiful.
addition to
Yeah,
it.
really is fantastic addition.
Like I've just never been a huge
All right,
like
well,
fan
those
of Sylvaneth in
you
general, but
characters,
like
are part of the ongoing narrative of Age of Sigmar. So if we take a look at the next video, and then we'll talk about what that means.
okay, so what are we actually? Oh, this is Kill Team. Or not? That was they just started playing like a snippet of Kill Team randomly. Okay, Dawnbringers. They look cool. They're yeah, but so these are the fish elves. Dwarves as well. The Ogre's Pillage. Okay, we've seen all the new Ogre stuff and all the new Orc stuff. All the new Cities of Sigmar. This looks interesting. Like all these the fact that like all the new factions are coming together again, like in interesting ways, is very cool. It's so weird seeing that Bloodletter or Bloodthirst or whichever one it is, because that thing, I'm so used to it being in 40k, so seeing it in this context is just hilarious to me. On the Black Talon models, I'm actually looking forward to those ones. I'm going to pick
and
them
a
up.
sneaky, super sneaky little teaser there for you as well that just popped in before the.
We'll get to it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll get to that
the
bit.
little Kill
Just before
Team bit that they
Dawnbringer's
randomly
book
showed.
3, The Long Hunt. So this continues the story of the Dawnbringer Crusades as the forces of order clash with a vast Khornate host. So where are we up to?
Okay.
In terms of sort
So
of
we've got
Dawnbringer
Stormcast versus
Khornate
Khorne.
activity?
Yeah, so
Pretty
I try not to
standard
spoil
stuff,
too
really.
much
Yeah,
about
of course,
what's going
like,
on.
you know,
'cause
I do
it's still
have
much to read.
a friend
Fundamentally, the
who
Dawnbringers
plays
is about
Khorne
twin-tailed crusade
in
of,
AOS.
The
So that'll be good for them.
You've got these
Having like
forces
Khorne be
that are
like
kind of,
a part of the
moving
story
out
again.
into the realm of
Probably,
fire and the realm of
probably means they'll
life,
get some new
and,
models, new
they come up
characters.
against all sorts of enemies and kind of trying to overcome them. Recently, they've just bumped into a vast marauding horde of Troggoths,
Yes.
led by the Troggoth king, and now they find themselves attacked in one realm by the forces of Khorne.
I want
which
that
is
piece of art.
the original
I want
nemesis,
the
basically,
book
of
3
Stormcast and the very first
art
battles in the Age of
as like
Sigmar.
a poster.
In the other
That it
realm,
just looks
they're
so
up
good.
against, a marauding band of ogres.
Just this like
basically, of,
skeleton knight riding a dragon is so good.
a lot of these are using
I
rules
love it.
from putting into Age of Sigmar lots of the things we've seen pop up in Warcry. So, for example, here's your
All the cool Warcry
your
stuff.
Gorger
Yeah.
force. You can have, using a regiment, army of renown, you can have an entire force of butchers and gorgers with
Oh,
the
that's
Maw
cool.
bit at the center of your army. And what this basically lets you do is, if you really like those new Gorger miniatures, which, you know, why would you not?
Yeah, they're very good.
They're
So
very
I
cool,
mean,
very, very different way
understandable.
of playing ogres as well. You can make an entire force around these kind of ravenous, cannibal, maniac, insane ogres, which are even scarier to fight against than normal ogres are. And of course, there will also be rules to use these guys in normal games of Age of Sigmar as well.
Please tell me I'm able to throw and kick things into that huge.
You absolutely can, yeah. If you've got a Maw pit on the battlefield and you've got a butcher nearby,
Oh, you can actually like use it.
throw throw models, basically enemy models, into the pit.
That's all I needed to know.
Okay,
The
that's
other thing
cool.
quite fun about the Morph
That is kind
in,
of cool.
Age of Sigmar
Throwing the
specifically is that
Starlight Pit.
usually, if you've got a monster, you can smash enemy fortifications, and you can still do that.
Right.
But if you fail to roll against the Morph Pit, it bites back. So if you've got a dragon or
Cool.
something that tries to smash it, and you roll a 1 or a 2 to smash
You're
it,
gonna get
it does like something stupid like 3d6 mortal wounds to you, so your dragon falls in basically.
That
and
is
gets
Oh wow.
so it's quite a risky proposition to try and take it out.
it on.
basically.
Wow. I guess
So
just
that's-
don't go
that's
near
the
it. I
fun
suppose you
you've
can
got
avoid
there.
it pretty easily. I
The
suppose.
book also has Balthanos and Ionis and a few other kind of key
course, yeah.
characters and taking part as well.
That's
One
a
of
cool
the other
dragon
things
as well.
That's
The one
a
for the
very
deep
popular
can.
new addition to Warcry that's on pre-order at the moment is the Flame Seekers. So the Flame Seekers are effectively trainers of Magmadroths, basically. So there is an army of renown that kind of leans into that, where you can have
You get to
a
have
whole
more
force of
dragons.
Magmadroths and these Flame Keepers looking after their Kindledroths.
Okay.
And they can move around the battlefield, and the way that works is that you can actually hop onto these great big Magmadroths with your little units of Fire Slayers, and they can transport them around the battlefield. So one of the weaknesses of your Fire Slayer army, because they're very good in defense, very good at attack, but they're quite slow, you can
You can make them
counteract
faster
that by
with the
fact that you hop
dragons
on
and
the
stuff.
battlefield
Okay.
and transport
I
units.
like that. I
It
like
gives you
that.
just a really fun new way of approaching doing a Fire
Nice.
Slayer army.
Yeah.
And of course, you'll also be able to use them in normal games of Age of Sigmar as a normal.
I mean,
part of a normal
you'd
Fire
hope
Slayer.
so.
So loads of
Imagine
good
that it's
stuff
just
in this
like
book.
it's just
So,
like nah,
uh,
you
one
can't
of the
use them
things
for
that you'll
whatever. It's
notice
just
about some
like
of the Dawnbringer books is they tend to lean into a specific Grand Alliance. So we had a lot of destruction stuff in the last one for book 2. There's a lot of stuff for the Forces of Order in this book.
Yeah.
And then going forwards, you can expect similar things for the other Grand Alliances as well.
Yeah, which is great to see that narrative
Nice.
expanding as well, and what that means for the mortal realms. And,
Yeah, and this book also gives a chance to kind of for Ionis Cryptborn and Balthanos to do something cool as well. So like
Yeah.
they don't just go, here's a new character, isn't that nice?
Yeah, they're
you
sort of-
go, he shows up and he has a moment to shine basically, and
Yeah.
go, oh, looks like he's gonna face off against the Bloodthirster and do some cool stuff there. There you go.
It's cool.
Right, so we had a little bit of a advanced tease, didn't we? Of
We
the
did.
next section, but should
Tiny,
we
tiny
have a
one.
look at
come
it?
on, give us the kill team. Bring us back to 40k. The real reason we're here. Okay, these scouts. They look like scouts to me. I can't tell what that is. Is that Drakari? Is that scouts versus Drakari potentially? That's definitely elves. Conflict begins. Okay. Okay, so we've got some Raven Guard scouts and striking scorpions. Okay. We like those. We like those. Nothing is selling me just yet. I like my scouts. Like scouts are neat. The new scouts are very neat. Striking scorpions don't care. Seek your salvation. Oh, that's the name of it. Salvation.
Yes,
Okay.
A new season, a new setting, and 2 new teams. It's the much anticipated next Kill Team expansion, Kill Team Salvation.
Yeah,
We've got some
much
very cool
anticipated.
teams for this.
I
Striking
love when they say
Scorpions
stuff
take
like
on
that
the
because it's
Space
like,
Marine Scouts.
who's really
Tells us
like
what we know about these new
sweating
teams
for the
anyway.
next Kill Team
Yeah, so,
expansion?
we knew that Space Marine Scouts were on the way, so we confirmed this would be the first place you can get them. But probably more excitingly for a lot of fans, especially people who are fans
New
of
Striking
the Eldari
Scorpions.
Craft Worlds, is a brand new plastic aspect is released for the first time in this box, and we'll get a release later on separately as well. So Striking Scorpions are an infiltrating elite combat unit of Eldari.
Yeah,
who
they
trained,
are.
in their aspect to be.
I'm
silent
not
killers,
like
um,
down
to
and out with
sneak
elves,
around,
but I
get
don't
up
care about
close,
elves.
and then finish their enemies off at point blank range,
They're
either
cool.
with those scorpion chainsaws
Neat.
or with their Mandiblasters.
Just don't
or
really
pistols.
care too
So
much.
very scary up close unit. That makes them an excellent kill team because they are basically already experts at kind of.
Well, I
special
suppose that's the thing,
operations.
isn't it? It's like
So,
have
in this
a
box you
faction,
get,
or rather have a
2,
unit type that is
squads of 5,
specifically for
so
close
5
combat. It's
into one,
like the pretty much perfect for
10 to
kill
make
team.
a kill team. And you get all the options you would expect in there. So the Exarch has got either Scorpion Claw, or you can give him a couple of chainsaws, or you can give him one great big walloping biting blade, double-handed chainsaw to
Nice,
carve
yeah.
stuff in half.
I
Lots
like how
of
they're not actually
posability
showing off the
as
double-handed
well, so you've
chainsaw
got lots
though.
of different arm options and head options. So if you're leaning into the Yunari aspect, particularly of
yeah.
your Eldari Force, you can have lots of unhelmeted heads, but they still get their Manda blasters and stuff, so they still obviously can fire and fight in up close.
I'm sure
generally
like
speaking,
the elf
there's not
players are
a
probably
vast
interested in
amount of,
this. I just
customizability
don't
in terms of
care.
weapons, because one of the
Like,
things
I
that
legitimately
defines
just do
the
not care about
Alpha Force
elves.
is they do all have kind of standardized weapons and equipment.
Yeah.
But there's lots of things in terms of posability, in terms of how do I want them.
The only thing that I care about elves
posed,
with
different
is
things,
the
so lots of
mechs,
dynamism in the models you've got to play with. So as you can
oh
see there,
the
you can build them in all
something
different
lords
models,
and
quite
something
different and unique, and lots
titans.
more detail as well than we've ever had on.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
bone or something, isn't it?
Scout Squad.
Yeah, the Scout Squad.
Okay, so the Scout Squad is
none
a
of us were on
Scout
these guys
Squad.
for
It's
ages and ages,
it's
'cause we did see these already when we.
It's
saw
exactly what we
Space
thought it
Marine
would be.
previews a few weeks ago. But
I like how
fundamentally,
there's a
you've got
sniper.
Squad of 10 Space Marine Scouts, and you've got all the kits, right? So you've got bolt pistols and close combat weapons. You've got shotguns and bolt guns and.
It's
heavy
not a bad
bolters,
kill team. I
sniper
just
rifles, chainsaws,
A ton of
and,
options.
and everything,
I don't
right? So
know.
all the things you'd want a Scout Squad to
I
have.
just want a full Sniper
this
Scout
set,
Squad.
it
I will
contains
buy
lots
the
of
full
Raven cards,
Sniper
because
Scouts. I'm
they're
just
quite
not
cool fighting
getting.
against green guys. But
I
you
don't
can
know.
paint them as whatever Scout Squad you want, right? So you can have them for any chapter, and they fit.
I mean, I should hope so. Like, if they imagine if they just made them Raven Guard only. Like, you could only have them for Raven Guard. Screw you. It's like,
One
wow.
of the interesting things about the way that this team plays in Kill Team is
You know what?
the
Actually,
design
no. They should have made them Raven Guard
I'm gonna
only.
have
They're
my whole,
cowards.
Kill Team as Striking Scorpions, in which case you just use what's in this box, and that is a complete kill team in its own right. If you want to, though, if you've got a wider Eldari force, you can also add in some of the other plastic aspects. So if you've got some Dire Avengers or some Howling Banshees,
I like the
you can
Howling
mix and match
Banshees,
those
to be
in
fair.
together. And basically what you do is you go, well, I'm going to choose an Exarch to lead my force, and that can either be an Exarch for the Scorpions, as you get in the box, or it can be a Dire Avenger one or a Howling Banshee one.
That's cool.
And
You
then
can actually, like,
can
mix and
add
match a
in,
little bit with that.
Extra operatives, basically up to, I think it's 9 you get. So you can have a few Striking Scorpions, a few Howling Banshees, and a few Dire Avengers.
Okay.
And there are bonuses for leaning fully into one aspect, and you can use some extra.
I mean, that's
bonuses
kind of
that
how
way.
elves
there's
work
also
in
some bonuses
general.
for
For
kind of
40k, so you kind of have to, like, lean into a certain thing, you get
so it's
extra
a really cool, flexible
benefits.
Kill team, and it gives you a really good sense of like how like a microcosm of how the whole Eldar army plays, basically, which is good fun. So it's a really cool addition, actually.
Yeah,
It
really
plays very
flexible.
differently from a lot of the other
That's very cool.
Eldari kill teams, all of which previously have been. I'm going to have some kind of lance and then lots of dudes with choppy swords. So it's not that. It's a really different way to play.
Yeah, super different.
I like the terrain as well. The adjust
The
mechanic
other
of
thing you
terrain.
get in this box, alongside the
It's very
Striking
bolt gun.
Scorpions and the Scouts, are a few extra pieces of terrain. So it's worth talking a little bit about how the Kill Team box is going to release. Up to this point, whenever you've bought one of the new season boxes, it's been a very big box. So you get lots of terrain, a big kill zone.
I'm assuming this time
lots of
around it's going to be
scenery and
a
2
much
kill
smaller
teams.
scale thing of just 2 kill
what we've-
teams, a little bit of
What
terrain.
we've heard basically is that people
That's
have got a lot of terrain now. So if you've been playing Kill Team since it came out, or even since the last edition, you've probably got 6 or 7 different kill zones at home. So you don't need more kill zones. So what we're going to do with this box is that the Striking Scorpions and the Scouts come with a very small amount of terrain, like what you've got on the screen there on the left, just to add a little bit of flavour to the box set. But then the kill zone itself is going to be made available separately at launch, so it's an optional extra.
Oh, okay, so
rather
if
than
you
being
don't
kind
if
of,
you don't already have
must
terrain,
this alongside your
you can
your
get it
games. So if
separately.
you
Yeah,
do want to
it makes
add in,
sense.
a
I'm
new kill zone
guaranteeing
experience,
there's going to be
you
people that don't
absolutely
like
can.
it, but
If you'd rather just get the
that's-
new teams,
it's a smart enough idea, I
And
think.
this is like a water world rig. Like it's super different from Into the Dark, right? Like.
Yeah,
terrain.
so the last season of Kill Team was Into the Dark, which was obviously very claustrophobic, very confined. You usually didn't have line of sight across the battlefield. You usually had to kind of move forward to get into position. This is really different, right? So this is, from a lore perspective, the Gallo Dark, which was the spaceship that they were all fighting on, has crashed into this planet. The planet is effectively covered by majority oceans, and there's all these kind of rigs across
Okay, that's kind of
the landscape.
it's an
And your
interesting
kill team has
take
got
on
to
it.
Kind of navigate what is effectively a kind of science fiction oil rig.
It's a
kind of
shame we didn't
situation.
get anything
Still
that's like
plenty of places to
especially
hide, plenty of places for
water-based.
snipers to kind of snipe from,
But
a lot
I
more
don't
kind
know.
of running and jumping between platforms.
Much
So
more open.
yeah, it gives you a very different sort of dynamic to your games of Kill Team.
It feels very.
Also
it
worth saying,
feels
if
too
you're
small
just-
because
if
it's
you
so
want to collect
open.
terrain for either Kill Team or
It
Warhammer
feels
40,000,
too
these
small.
boxes are also just a
And I
really
know
good
that's kind of the
holder
point when it
for
comes
loads of
to
scenery.
Kill Team, but like it just seems too small to
So
me.
there's your what your kind of battlefield looks like, your kill zone
Mm.
with your scorpions. The board as well is double-sided as well, so you can you've got a few different options in terms of how you lay it out, and all the scenery is
It looks
designed to
neat.
kind of
That
move
was cool.
relatively freely around the battlefield too, and create lots of cool, interesting, dynamic battles. The water is pretty deadly as well, so you don't want to.
not
So you
go in
can
there.
kick people into the off the edge as well, and that sort of thing as well. It's probably full of space piranhas.
All
So having
sorts of stuff
knockback
in
is
there.
like
Yeah,
actually
two
useful.
Really cool teams. Space Marine Scouts,
this
obviously very
makes sense. Makes
anticipated.
sense.
Striking Scorpions. I think we've almost every single time we've ever had a preview, somebody in the chat has asked for Striking Scorpions.
Here they are.
There they are. Yeah, you
It's
go out
like,
and find something
they
else.
probably are the most
That's
popular
There you go.
part
I'm
of
sure they'll
elves that like
Yeah.
hasn't been available.
So really cool. Yes, goes that
So
saying,
it
both
doesn't
of those can
surprise
also be
me.
used for Warhammer 40,000. So another step towards having all of those aspects
Yeah.
available in plastic, and then Space Marine Scouts have been redone in scale with things like your Black Templar Neophytes. So yeah,
I mean,
two great
I would
additions to
I would
Warhammer.
hope they're in scale. Seems they're literally the same type of
Right,
thing.
well, we
Like
did promise
neophytes are
some,
literally
some
just
old
scouts.
ones, I
Like
think.
We
today.
did, yeah, didn't
So I think it's probably time to have a look at what we've got for the world that was. So Raph takes away.
okay, so we've got the old world stuff now. And this is where I just kind of shut up because I'm not gonna say anything positive about any of this. I just don't care. Yay, knights. Wow, I really love some of that, you know, historical. I love playing the Normans. I don't want to, like, if you like Old World and you like classic fantasy and, like, you know, true historical wargaming, like, good for you. Honestly, like, find what you enjoy and play it, but, like, for me, like, the most historical I'll go is, like, to, like, World War One. Any older than that, I am not touching it. I am not bothered. I just do not care.
The old world. Awesome.
Ah,
Heroes of Bretonnia
more
alive
Britannia.
again.
More
That is awesome.
Britannia.
That is so
Isn't it
cool.
enough
So,
that we just
can you
got
tell us
about a
about some of these
million?
glorious news?
This is going to be the rest of
Yeah,
eternity, isn't it?
absolutely.
I'm just going to be
So, we
constantly
knew that Britannia was
shown
part of the old world
more
pretty much since the
Cities of
announcement
Sigma,
of it. And what we're able to do
Britannia,
today with you guys is
just
show you,
the most
basically the
generic
launch range
knight
for Britannia
characters I
that's
can be
come out.
given.
And we've got a
Like,
few other
just
bits of
constantly.
news about the old world for you today, but we'll start off by just having a look at some
And
of
like,
these
yes, I will complain
incredible
because
minis.
like
So, Kingdom of Britannia, Duke
I
on
want to
Royal
see
Pegasus,
the
who
other
would have guessed,
factions,
right,
and
the world's
all we
best kept
see is
secret.
Britannia.
New plastic Pegasus is
And for
on
the
its
long
way,
for the
and
longest
this is
time,
a
it's been the same
really,
case
really
with
cool, very
you know,
flexible kit.
I mean, 40k is the
Basically
same.
allow you
Always
to
see Space
put
Marines
lots
like
of, to create lots of heroes on
AOS.
Pegasus
It's
for your
always
army.
Stormcast. We've
Pegasus
had
is
a little
very,
bit of
very
difference
useful
recently, but it's like it's
hero on
I mean,
because
if
in
it's switched to being
Warhammer,
Cities of
the
Sigma,
old world,
which
much like Warhammer Fantasy
is even
Battle,
worse in my opinion.
you want to
But
have your general on a Pegasus or something that can fly because you've got lots of aura abilities, and also you just want him to be charging stuff early on.
Absolutely, 100%.
So this is a really cool kit. You can make it in lots of different ways. This one is.
Can I make it into a
Duke,
Space Marine?
Generally speaking,
Can I
in
turn-
Bretonian society,
can I turn
the
it
bigger and cooler your
into
helmet is, the
a
more,
Blood Angels model?
status you've got.
That's a lot of status.
That is
and
the
more
ultimate
kind of blessed by
test.
the lady of,
Because
the
like
lake
I'm just
you are.
remembering
So
there's
this
the
guy has got
there's the
literally
old
a-
world
it's got a
model
little
that
church
say
with a statue of the Lady of the Lake on his
Yeah,
hat.
there's a
So
Lady
he's
of the
gotta
Lake.
be
That's
way
literally
up
it. It's
there,
it's
right?
her.
So,
It's the
this
one on the
guy is,
unicorn. I'm like,
Duke of
can I make
Bretonnia,
that into a
and
Blood
his
Angel?
heraldry, his kind of
Can I make this
quarters
into a
black
Blood
and red
Angel? Because
with
if
the axe,
so,
has been applied
you
across
know,
the entire
I'll
range
sign me
for
up. You
the,
know, sign me up for a
the
bit
old
of
world army for Bretonnia. So this is
stupid
the guy
Blood
who has
Angels,
kind of inspired
just
that across the rest of the
idiotic
force.
tier, like
Pegasus
just
itself is a
insanely
beautiful sculpture. Maybe
stupid
just jump back for a second
Blood
there, Ralph, so you
Angels.
can kind of take in the whole
Yeah, that is
spectre of it.
brilliant.
So really, really dynamic, cool. You've got some options there on the horse as well, but it's it almost looks like a kind of statue of a hero that you'd find in
Yeah,
a town square or something, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
But kind of living.
The
and
thing is,
breathing
I
and,
can't complain about
leading
like the
charge,
quality of the models. The
of
models look
Bretonian
great.
forces. So
I
it's
just
really,
do not
really
care
cool
about like
miniature, all
anything they've
plastic,
shown so far.
and with loads of options. This is one of the other
Okay,
ways
that colour
you can
scheme
build
kinda
it.
looks
So,
cool.
you see a few different changes there. So it's a different head on the horse,
Yeah.
different head on the character, different cloak, different sword, different shield. And this
Okay,
is a
that-
Baron. So
that
Baron
looks
is like
better.
your common
I like that
hero
more than the
for
white.
Bretonnia. The Duke is your kind of general or prince or something like that, and the Baron is kind of a step down. Still a very competent fighter, but you can see his hat's not as impressive. So
slightly less status.
Yeah, he doesn't have like a statue in his heart. Like,
white either, so it's probably a slightly cheaper Pegasus. Maybe. But you can build it in lots of different ways. There's another way you can build it as well, which is
I do hope so.
a battle standard bearer. So battle standards in Warhammer the Old World, much like Warhammer Fantasy, super important to your army, particularly for Bretonnians, because they give you your kind of rallying point for the force, and they give you some bonuses to combat, and you can put magic banners on them and all sorts of stuff like that. And this is allowing
Old
you to
World just
put,
sounds like
a
nonsense
battle
to me.
standard
I don't know what it
on
is about it. It
which
really
is
just sounds like
one
nonsense.
of the best places for it, basically, because you can put it, you can get it where you
really show it off.
You
Then
get it where
as
you
well.
want it to go to. Not quite sure how you fly with a standard, but it's probably magic, so don't worry too
Easily
much about
done,
it. Easy
yeah.
peasy.
Is it,
But
this is
yeah,
the stupid thing
a
about
really,
Old World
really
is that
cool
like
miniature.
even they can't explain
Really
the
flexible. I
nonsense
think
of
we
it.
are
Like,
almost guaranteed to see some of these
I don't know.
in Golden Demon and painting competitions and
for
things like that,
sure.
because the model is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
brilliant.
cool.
And not every knight is rich enough to.
we
afford
got
those.
some
right, not every knight
we've
can
got
afford a
some
Pegasus or
knights,
even a
some
horse.
basic
So,
knights.
One of the things that we
Love
have
that.
been kind of talked about in the lore of Bretonnia for a very long time, but never manifested.
We've been talking
as
about
a
Bretonnian knights for a
miniature
long
unit.
time,
So
but
it's
now
called-
we've
is
got
Knight
them
of the Realm on foot. So a Knight of the Realm is
on
your,
foot.
is the
Perfect.
most common
We love
type
that.
of knight in Bretonnia. It means that somebody who's gone on their errantry quest, they've achieved a knightly deed of some sort. That might be slaying a small monster, or protecting a town, or rescuing a damsel, something knightly, and you become
That
a knight
classic
of the realm, which means
stuff,
you've probably got a little castle or a keep somewhere in Bretonnia, and you are honor bound to protect the peasants around it. And if your king or your duke or your baron
peasants.
calls you, you must go to fight on crusade. Basically.
It's just it all
so Knights
feels
of the
so
Realm,
generic to me, and
many of them
I
have
I
horses,
know
but not
people like
everyone,
this stuff, but I just
will be rich enough to afford a horse.
You know,
or perhaps their horse has been slain and they want to.
there's
continue
so
on
many
fighting.
awesome
Knights
things
of
in
the
like
Realm on foot is
AOS.
a brand new unit, with a couple
Why
of
get
options.
the
You can either give them
generic
these
knights
great
for Old
two-handed,
World? Like, I don't know.
Poleaxes, or you can give them sword and shield. This is a really flexible kit. All of the heads are separate, lots of the arms are separate. You've got loads
Some
of different
variety there. I can
opportunities
see a
to kind
female
of make
face at the front
these,
there.
These models your own.
Not everyone has to have a goatee and a
and
mustache. Like,
You can see the story kind
I
of
don't
told
know.
in each one of these characters,
I
because
love those details. on
yeah,
them.
they look
as a
cool.
Knight of
I just
Bretonnia,
don't care
whatever
about
your,
generic knights.
Particular, whatever your
Some nice little
errantry quest
statues
was,
and
you
stuff. I
goes
don't
off and say, "I'm
know.
gonna
Like,
be a
as
knight."
in the thing on the.
You gotta be royal or kind of noble.
I don't even know. I don't know what I'm
Once you say,
saying.
I'm gonna go off and
I
be a
like his
knight,
unicorn helmet.
Your heraldry is depicted by whatever it was you achieved. So if you slayed a particular monster, maybe that manifests, or if you rescued something, or protected something, or worked alongside a crusade.
So
or
what
something
I'm
like that,
hearing
that
is he
manifests
killed a
in your
griffin
heraldry,
and he
and
killed
all
a
these different
unicorn.
headdresses and trinkets
That's
and
what
things
I'm
like that
hearing
tell
right
us
now.
Of a story of your knightly house. And then there's lots of other little lovely details on there as well. So this is the standard and the champion for that unit, and the standard again has got that Lady of the Lake, who is like a recurring deity of the Bretonnian forces. Kind of a lovely. little shrine there
Bretonnian's
with
just
lots of different
boring.
keys.
I
So
just
the storytelling.
I apologize to anyone that likes them, but I just
really
don't
lovely
care.
kits, though. Really
I
flexible
honestly
kits
just
as well, so
don't.
you get quite a few spare bits. So if you've got some of the other Bretonnian plastics, so we'll have a look at some of those in a little bit, which ones are coming back alongside these. But if you've got some plastic Knights of the Realm and you want to kind of mix in some of the new helmets and things like that, you'll get loads of spare arms and helmets and shields and things like that, so you can really customize the rest
That's
of your
nice at
force.
least.
We're going to go through some of the plastics that are returning and show you some of those. So Knights of the Realm, very kind of the most common unit, the kind of the archetypal unit for Bretonnia. This is a returning plastic kit. This is the kit kind of out the box.
So these are the actual Knights of the Realm. These are the proper ones.
Foot Knights as well, if you wanted to. So they're on their way back too. In lance formation, obviously.
Nice.
Pegasus Knights, they're on their way back as well. So you've got some brand new Pegasus characters which you can build up in
So
loads of
many.
different ways.
The thing
You
is,
can
the
put
old
some
models
Pegasus Knights
look
alongside them
old.
too. These
That's
are,
the thing. It's like
kind of
it's
as you'd
nice that they're
expect,
bringing them
it's
back,
enormous
you
flying,
know.
heavy
But
cavalry that can smash straight through enemy skirmishers.
They
you can
just
go around.
don't look like,
Harry enemy
especially
flanks,
they
that
keep
sort of
showing these really nice new
And then
models,
at the other end
and then
of the
immediately showing
spectrum
these like kind of
nobility,
whatever
we've seen things like the lords and their
like old models.
mighty
I'm just like,
knights. You've got the peasants and the men at arms. So these are the lowest of the low in Bretonian society. Really,
you know,
They
these
are
kind of look
the,
cool.
the farm hands and
These
troops
ones
that
are
look after
neat.
the castles.
I can get behind
They are
these
not of
ones.
noble birth,
I like the
but
drummer
the knights
with the
very
like frog
generously provide
drumsticks.
them with some level of training, and they've got kind of hand-me-down spears and shields and things like that. So this is a returning kit for Bretonian, but this is
That one kind of looks cool. I don't mind that one as much. I think because that one like is different.
And then
Same with
peasant
this,
bowmen as
peasants
well.
with bow,
So these are,
like
again, peasants, fairly well trained actually. Like lots of peasants in Bretonia need to look after their farmsteads and homelands and things like that. So many of them practice with a longbow. Actually, fairly competent ranged unit. If you are a knight of Bretonia, it is against your knightly code to use missile weapons of any sort. So you're not allowed to have a crossbow or a longbow or
that's
anything
so
like that.
stupid.
So they rely on the peasants to give them a
where
little
the
bit of
bowmen
help.
come in,
Not that they would ever admit that they need help
No,
as a
of
knight
course
of
not.
Bretonia, but sometimes they bring the peasants along just to see the world. Really.
That
the,
is
frogs
so
there as well,
stupid. The
that's-
knights
Oh, yeah,
can't
reference
use
to the fact that it's like a
bows.
Those frogs on
That's
the
ridiculous.
stakes, just with the drummer there on the left-hand side. That is brilliant.
Yeah, there is a recurring motif for the peasant command groups where they have a couple of frogs on sticks, which
Yeah.
they use to bang the drums.
That is great.
There is traditionally.
I do quite
the,
like that. Like
wizards
honestly,
Bretonia,
of
the
everything they've shown for
damsels,
Bretonia,
occasionally
these are
turn their
nice.
enemies
I like
into
the
frogs.
peasants.
So, my fear
Everything
is
else
that
is
those
terrible,
frogs
but the
may
peasants
be
are nice.
People within the
Yeah.
who've angered the Bretonian damsel of the army in some way,
Become a
shape, or form,
drumstick.
and been turned into a frog. Yeah, it's a pretty grim. Turning into a frog is bad enough, and then being
And
turned into a
then-
drumstick is a
yeah,
pretty.
is worse.
I can't imagine you last very long
Absolutely
as a frog
not.
drumstick.
No,
but
no way.
there we go. With the field trebuchet
With
for Bretonia
trebuchet.
is returning as well. So this is originally was a metal kit. If you ever had the joy of building this as a metal kit, you'll know it was not the most fun to build as a metal kit.
If you've ever had the
It's been
joy, you'll know it was
retooled and
awful.
reworked in
That's
forge
basically
forged
what you
resin.
just said.
So this is going to be really lovely detail, much easier to put together than the metal version of the past, but a really great returning kit. Alongside this, you'll also see lots of returning metal kits. And
Oh,
for some of
really?
the other armies as well. Some other things have been kind of retooled into Forge World resin as well. So there's some great
That's kind of interesting that
returning
they are
units
just going to
as well
bring
as
up
some
metal
really
kits like
cool new,
wholesale.
plastics and some new resins for some of the different armies as well. So speaking of new resins, here are some of the resins that we've already know are on their way for Bretonia. So we've got Damsel on a Unicorn.
I
at the
did
centre
not
there. We've got
realize
Battle
that the
Standard
Lady of
there,
the Lake
and
or
we've got,
whatever is
Questing
resin.
Paladin
I thought
on
she was
foot.
plastic.
But we have a new resin model to show you as well. So this is the Handmaiden of the Lady. This is your
Okay.
wizard, basically, for Bretonian forces. In Bretonia, men aren't allowed to practice sorcery.
Of course.
For the most part. But what happens,
The knights can't
is
have
that
bows, the
every
knights
now
can't
and
have magic.
again,
What is
daughters of
this?
nobility will go missing,
Just give me
and
Stormcaster
then they
Turtles
will
to go
return
away.
abducted into the night by fey creatures, and then they will return as handmaidens of the lady with unnatural powers. Nobody's quite sure what their power comes from.
This is ridiculous.
Or what the nature of the entities that grant them it is, but they do seem to have the blessing of the Lady of the Lake, so nobody asks too many questions in case they get turned into frogs.
Yeah, of course.
So
And uses
they're
a
gonna
drum,
give
yeah.
you your,
We get it.
Your magic, effectively, for Bretonia. And what it does is it gives you a really nice kind of triple style for the Bretonian force. So you've got the very glorious knights in their very shining armour and
That
gold and
that
silver,
can't use bows or
very,
magic.
noble. And then you've got the peasants who have got kind of hand-me-down shields and poleaxes and
Who
kind
can
of,
use bows?
walking through the mud every day. And then you've got the handmaidens of the lady, which have a very different aesthetic altogether.
Who can
They're
use
very kind of
magic?
pristine,
It's just,
pure,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
like
Like
magic
you
made
you
manifest.
nerf the knights by making them not
But a
allowed to
really
do
cool,
things,
Really cool new army.
and then everyone
that,
else just
with-
can
it's
do
pretty
can
much
fill
what
in
you
the
get out of
gaps.
the
It's
gates for
great.
Bretonia.
It's
There's a
great.
few other returning kits as well that will come a little bit later on, but that is what is going to be launching for Bretonia when Warhammer: The Old World comes out. We can confirm today that Warhammer: The Old World will be one of the first releases for 2024. So it's not going to be this
Okay.
year, but you won't have to wait very long at all into the new year before you can get your hands on this. So it's not too
Can
long
we
to
at
wait.
least have
And then before the year is out, you'll have
Legions
more information
Imperialis
for you on
released
one
this
of the
year?
other,
That would be
big
great.
factions that's gonna be
Could they just release Legions
There you
Imperialis
go.
this year?
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, lovely times. I think that's all we've. I think we've covered it. We've done it.
That's what we got. Yeah.
That's it. That's all we've
That's
got. That's all we've
actually
got
it,
time
wow.
for. So, what was your fave, Eddie? What was your favourite out of all
I mean,
those?
it's all very cool. So I am really excited about Bretonia because
Yes,
that was one of
me
the.
too.
I started with the Warhammer Fantasy Battle Box, which was the Bretonians versus the Lizardmen. That was the first thing I ever got for Warhammer. I've got like a special place in my heart for Bretonians. But I am doing an Eldari army at the moment. I do really like those Scorpions.
Yeah,
So
they are
I like those a lot. I like those a lot.
I,
And I think it's been a very long wait for plastic striking Scorpions. So I'm very keen to kind of get these painted up and use them, and the chance to use them as a kill team as well. I'm really enjoying Kill Team at the moment as a game system. So I'm going to paint them up as a kill team, and then they're going to infiltrate their way into my Eldar army as well. How about yourself, Lewis? What did you like most?
Oh, I got to go with the Ionis Cryptborn. It's got to be. What
I
a
think
terrifying
Ionis is
miniature in the
is
best
my
way
pick,
possible. All
personally.
those skulls. It's just super macabre, super gothic. I love it. It's great. It's brilliant.
It's very cool. Okay, right. Well, we hope you enjoyed the reveals, guys. That is what we've got for Warhammer Day. A couple of things to remind you of before we head off. So it is Warhammer Day this weekend kicking off. There is a brand new exclusive Warhammer Day commemorative miniature, which is the Leagues of Votan character. So you can pick that up from GamesWorkshop.com or from your or order it from your local Games Workshop or hobby store. If we'll go through loads of stuff in this preview today. We had all sorts of pictures and things. You might have missed some things. Don't worry, all of this you can watch back again.
Just pick
You can
everything
also
else
watch,
up on
all the pictures on the Warhammer Community
Warhammer
website,
Community,
which is really
so
cool.
that's nice.
So you can have a look at. There's probably some new angles and things those guys have got that we haven't been able to show you today
Tons
as
of
well.
stuff on there, I reckon.
Just to let you know,
I love how
we
they're
do
just
have
like straight up
another preview
admitting
coming
like
up in
we
the
don't have
future.
everything
We
here.
will have a Warhammer preview online coming from the Grand Narrative and World Championships, which is happening in mid-November. So you've got about 1 month before the next one of these great Warhammer previews.
Not long to wait.
Not long. And
So I'm
speaking of
assuming
other
that's
great
probably gonna
live
have
shows,
Necron stuff.
if you guys stick around,
Since we haven't seen
we
anything
are
other
going to be
than
jumping right after this show to the
And the
Tampa
Adepts
Bay Open
mechanics, I
in
guess.
Florida, where you can watch some Warhammer 40,000 Grand Tournament coverage with our guys over in the US.
Nice.
So if you like your match play Warhammer 40,000, if you stick around, you can watch them of that as well.
Bro. So a big thank you to Notley in the chat for moderating for us. Huge thank you to Raf, our producer, for pushing all the buttons, making it all happen. Thank you.
Well,
to you,
there
Eddie.
we
pleasure.
go. That
Nice.
is
And thank you to you guys at home for watching. Cheers. That's what we
that
got
is the
time
Warhammer
for.
Day
We'll
2023
see you soon. Take care.
preview, which you know that's it is what it is. You know what, like as much as I think the Age of Sigmar stuff they've shown off is really good, and honestly that's kind of it. Imatech is cool. It's good to see the Stormlord return, but like I don't know. For me, I just don't care too much, unfortunately, about most of it. But I think on that note, though, I'm not feeling playing Bolt Gun. I think honestly, I'm going to I'm gonna end it there. I feel. Well, we'll have a quick glance through at what there is now on here. So yeah, so just a quick recap, I guess, before we end this. Got Imatech. Imatech looks good. If I was a Necron player, I'd be very excited about this. In general, like Imatech is a cool character. A character I don't know too much about, but is like the main one for the Necrons. So it's neat to see him return in like a new form. Like I can't remember what the old one looks like exactly, but yeah, they don't have the old one pictured. But if he's anything like any of the other million Necron characters that haven't had a new release in 20 years, then I'm sure it was well overdue. The stupid Skitarii sniper. This thing's just stupid to me. No, not for me. Not for me at all. There's not really much to say about it. I mean, they said it in the stream, to be fair. It's a very Marmite sort of deal. Like, you either love it or you hate it. I hate it. I cannot stand this thing. This thing is... If I'm playing against Adeptus Mechanicus and they pull out that thing, I'm focusing all my fire on it. I'm not letting that thing survive. To be fair, I run like a lot of long range stuff, especially like obviously I play Tau, so this guy's cool. INS Cryptborn. I like it. Like the old model as well looks. I actually quite like the old model. So pretty nice little upgrade here. I wonder, like, is the old one available? If the old one's available, I kind of want the old one as well. Because the old one does look neat. I do like that one. Don't know what this is, but it looks kind of cool. And you know what? Actually, I think my partner does have either this model or a model very similar to it for her Stormcast. I don't actually know for sure. But yeah, no. INS looks great. His little dragon friend is cool as well. And just generally, just some nice stuff. What else? We got the Sylvaneth rider as well. Looks pretty cool. We kind of saw all this, so yeah, I like it. I like it. It's cool. I can't say like it's completely sold me on Sylvaneth, but I may get this just as like a taster. And I say I might paint it up in an interesting way where I don't really go for that nature aesthetic, go for like an artificial aesthetic. I think that could be cool. Then so I don't need to look at that. We can look at the Striking Scorpions again. Not something I care about massively, but you know, if you've been looking forward to Striking Scorpions, it's nice to get some more Eldari models, some new Eldari models. Though, to be fair, like, as much as people complain about the old Eldari, they look good still. Like, for me, I don't think, like, you know, Eldari's one of those armies where it's like, it has models consistently that are from, like, 1998, but they still look good. Like, I don't think Eldari have aged very badly. Space Marines, I think, age pretty poorly in the grand scheme of things, but the Scouts look good. I like the Scouts. The Scouts are something I am going to look into. I just want Sniper Scouts. I just want this guy. I just want a squad of him. I'm hoping we're actually going to get like a separate thing of Sniper Scouts. That's what I want. I don't care about, you know, all these other things. I just want the snipers. We'll see. I'll see what the sprue looks like when it comes out. Yeah, the terrain looks good. I say it reminds me very much of Bolt Gun. That general aesthetic of just having a bunch of Adeptus Mechanicus sort of stuff is always cool to me. And the terrain looks neat. Nothing special, but like the aesthetic is there. I like it. I don't know. I'm going to talk more about these tomorrow in the Warhammer Weekly episode, but yeah, just some final thoughts and everything. Don't care about the horse. Don't care about the knights. Don't care about the other 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 knights. Peasants are cool. I like peasants. And then this witch. She's alright. I'm disappointed to find out these are resin. I didn't know these were... I might get the guy that's stabbing the orc head. That's kind of cool. Might turn him into some sort of... I have a very small Adeptus Militarum army. So I might try and turn him into something for that, but... I don't know. Trebuchet. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, but I don't know. Just none of it is really screaming at me. From like in general, Old World so far. I want to see the orcs. Show me the orcs. I'm probably gonna be happy. Like as of right now, I just don't know. It's not for me. Like it is what it is. But yeah, that was the Warhammer Day 2023 online preview. Some cool stuff. I'll go over it in a little bit. My filtered thoughts essentially will be in tomorrow's Warhammer Weekly, as well as all this other stuff that in the last week has come out. Quite a few things. There's a few odd different things to explore. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But more stupid Legions of Imperialis. I'm getting more annoyed with Legions of Imperialis the longer it takes to release. But yeah, in any case, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know, like and subscribe, ring that bell. I'm gonna try and stream like more regularly. I'm not gonna say it's going to be, you know, every week or every other week or something, but I might try for like once a month to get a stream out, even if it's just like an hour or two. This one's, you know, barely an hour and a half, but you know, I do enjoy doing this. But yeah, in any case, that's gonna be it for me. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.